Shalom. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to all you brothers out there doing the work of sincerity and truth, striving for the whole full elect, enduring all afflictions, and seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. This is Yahba Tazad. Is coming back with another video. Um, I just want to talk, just basically it's like a reminder. Um, just like anything and all things, when you're dealing with individuals, people in general at jobs or your friends or girlfriends or husbands, there's always a pattern that's left behind to see what their next move is going to be. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of like start to predict what's going to happen, but I'm not trying to be too forward in that sense regarding what I'm going to speak about. It's just something, like I said, a reminder, something to be watchful for, because like we already know that the government shutdown is going on. In a few days it's going to be November 1st, and it's circulating everywhere. Everything's going around saying that these people that are depending on the government regarding food stamps, they're not going to receive their those funds, and people are going to basically be tested and tried in that time regarding that. And because of them basically always receiving that on time, and people are very undisciplined and stuff like that, and they're gonna just probably act a fool, spaz out, cry, throw tantrums, and none of them ever fasted. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to deal and under certain circumstances, pressure and things of that nature. So, but this is not about that. This is about DJ Trump. I think this morning I saw something that said that he was getting on the plane ready to take off to Asia to visit certain Asian countries out there. But you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like he's going right now towards the end of this month, when no telling what's gonna happen. There's a lot of stuff going on right now in the world. And it's kind of like what I see it as is whenever 9/11 happened. Where was the president at? If I'm not mistaken, because it happened September 11th, he was in a school, in an elementary school, listening to a story be told by the teacher to the students. If I'm not mistaken, when this incident happened, you know what I'm saying, the Twin Towers. And then whenever the Katrina hurricane hit and caused all that devastation, and that was primarily Jake, you know what I'm saying, like that's all that got hit right there in Louisiana, right there at the coast of the Gulf of Mexico, Mississippi. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Louisiana that got hit the most. But during the Katrina Hurricane Katrina, where was he at? He was on vacation in Texas, here in Texas. And he didn't even go out there to see any of those people, or because of everything that was going on. FEMA got called out, but they even took their time going out there. But the president at the time, the same president that was in office with that, was the same president in office with 9/11, the Bush Jr. All right. And it seems like there's a pattern with these. When something, they know ahead of time when something's gonna pop off, so they kind of get out the way. They got other things that are so-called important, or they're gonna be looking like if they're busy doing something, knowing damn well that something's about to pop off. So they kind of just, get out the way. So it's just something that I that came to my spirit. It's something to be watchful, mindful, and not to be surprised that if something does happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, not something towards where the Lord is going to come back, but something major here. So I'm going to bring out 2 Corinthians 11, or 2:11, Salakia. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? So we're not ignorant. So we understand, like I said, when you be around, when you age in this thing, you age in life, you see things, you know what I'm saying? You experience things in life, you've been around people, you know what's up. So you start to put pieces together. So that's all I'm trying to say. Um, like I said, don't take me my word for it, because I'm not trying to like make a prediction. I'm just saying, like, it's just something to be mindful of. See, we're here. So go to that word ignorant. And we already know ignorant goes back to the word ignore, and it's ignore what? Truth. So you don't want to be ignoring what's going on. So the outline of biblical usage is to be ignorant, not to know. See, so you don't know what's going on. You're not paying attention. You're not being circumspect. You're not using discernment. It says not to understand. Unknown. To err or sin through mistake. To be wrong. Strong's definition, it says not to know through lack of information or intelligence. By implication, to ignore through disinclination. Okay, so to know, it says not to know through lack of information or intelligence. So like I said, it's just something that came to me in my spirit, that, and like I said, even the brothers, the elders are already saying, like, come November 1st, people are gonna bug out. They're gonna, no telling what's gonna happen. But it's just funny that now that this representative of Great Babylon was getting on flight this morning out to Asia. So it's just something to be watchful. Be watchful about. In these times, anything can pop off. In these times, anything can happen. It's right there. So, yeah. Or you know what? Hang on. Let me go back over here. I wanted to look at something else, I believe. Devices. Look at devices. Okay. The outline of biblical usage, it says a mental perception, thought, or an evil purpose. You see? So we know these people have an evil purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, Salakia, let me get my sword real quick, because another scripture came to my mind. Let me find it though here in my sword. Yeah, so it says a mental perception, thought, an evil purpose, that which thinks, the mind, thoughts, or purposes. Strong's definition, it says a perception that is purpose, or by implication the intellect, disposition itself. All right, so let's look here. See, all right. So we can't be ignorant of Satan's devices. Satan, it means adversary. And we know that these people that are in rulership, they are the adversary. Okay? They are not for you, and never will they be. And if they do, there's always an agenda, a hidden agenda, to try to overthrow you. All right? Let me see. Man, where is it? Let me look it up here then real quick. Salakia. So it won't take so long. Yeah, Ezekiel 38. Man. Ezekiel 38. And 10. So let me go back. All right, 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Let's look up back to that word device. All right, devices says an evil purpose, right? So here in Ezekiel 38 and 8, after many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Salat. Yeah. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. Thus saith the Lord power. It shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, and dwell safely, all them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. Okay, so this individual, it says, and thou shalt think an evil thought. So they're plotting, they're conspiring against the hidden ones, the Negro Latinos and Native American Indians, but primarily the elect. That's the main goal they're gonna try to get. Okay, that's who they really want. So we can't be ignorant of Satan's devices, which is an evil purpose. Everything that they do has an evil purpose. There ain't nothing free in this world. There ain't nothing good that comes forth from this man. None of that. All right. So it says a mental perception, thought, and evil purpose. See what the root word is. It says to perceive with the mind, to understand, have an understanding, to think upon, heed, ponder, consider. Yep. So it's just something, like I said, to be mindful of, to watch, you know what I'm saying? Something that like we can make videos about anything and everything. Let's see. It says Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let us break their band asunder and cast their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, and the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Right, so it says, like, why do the heathen rage? Why do they imagine a vain thing against Yahweh's people? Why do they set themselves up? You know? Because, well, we know it's because of Esau is a devil, and all the other nations, they follow suit because they're just all about trying to gain, wealth, the world too as well. They want to be the next up to be superpower and all that stuff, but it's to their own demise, to their own judgment by way of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And everything was really for our learning to know that look at everything that's happened to all the kings that were prior to them in the old times and the ancient times. They all fell. They all were destroyed. None of them got away. So it's like, but that's the stoutness, the stubbornness, the pride that they have in their heart. You get this other one. It's a lot. This is Luke 21:34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts, Salakia, that's not it. Yeah, it is. Luke 21:34. And take heed to yourselves, right? Take heed, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting, drunkenness, and cares of this life, so that day come upon you unawares. So you don't want to be caught unawares, man. You want to stay sober-minded in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, being circumspect. Okay, and that way that day when it comes, it won't catch you unaware. For as a snare shall it come upon all that dwell on the face of the whole world. And we need the RFID chip, things like that. It's good to be in the know. It's very important to be in the know. Like the scripture saying in Daniel 12 that knowledge shall increase. So you got to utilize the internet as the best of your ability to get wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You know, especially this truth. That way you don't get caught unawares and be not ignorant of Satan's devices. Like I said, the Bible is here for our as a guide. So it also shows us the patterns of these individuals that are wicked rulers. Okay. So it, like I said, it was just something that I had seen this morning, and I just saw another video regarding DJ Trump going to Asia this morning, and we're like a week at least, if I'm not mistaken, or a little bit less than a week away from November 1st. So anything can happen. We'll see. And they also said that there was a private lender that sent them like $100 million to help for the government officials that are not getting paid during the shutdown, and also to help aid and SNAP. So we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? It just, I mean, you still got to just be circumspect. Let me get these other scriptures from here. Let's see. Yes, Ecclesiasticus. Okay. Let me come over here to Peter's. 1 Peter chapter 5. Verse 8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. Okay, so be sober and be vigilant. You know, so that's the way you're not going to be caught unaware. You're not going to be caught by surprise. You're always, because the script, like the scriptures say, never trust thine enemy. Know thy enemy, as you know yourself. Know the enemy. Pay attention to people. Patterns. People leave patterns. They try to be slick, but there's always something that's left there. You gotta find it. This is Sirach 12. And 10, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet to take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. You see? Yep. So you gotta pay attention. Pay attention. Take heed to what's going on. And like these people like to play possum, but really they know what they're doing. They're always they're the ones that create chaos. But it's all prophecy. It's supposed to happen. This is Sirach 13 and 8. It says, beware that thou be not deceived and brought down in thy jollity. If thou be invited of a mighty man, withdraw thyself, and so much the more will he invite thee. Press thou not upon him, lest thou be put back, and stand not afar off, lest thou be forgotten. Affect not to be made equal unto him in talk, and believe not his many words. For with much communication will he tempt thee, and smiling upon thee will get out thy secrets. But cruelly he will lay up thy words, and will not spare to do thee hurt, and to put thee in prison. Observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing. When thou hearest these things, awake in thy sleep. Okay? So you got to pay attention. Beware. Remain, like the scriptures say in 1 Peter, be sober and be vigilant. You know, don't get caught unawares, for we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. And pay attention that this man has he has an evil thought. Okay, he's thinking of evil on how to overthrow you, and they cause homegrown terrorism, false flags, things of that nature. It's all orchestrated through them. Okay, they did it during the time, if I'm not mistaken, the time of Nero. That's why El Tahar calls him Nero, because they do a lot of their own homegrown terrorism. To stir up. What is Ab out of what is it? Ordo Ab out of Ab Ko. I believe that's how it's said, or it's the other way around. Ko Ab Ordo. Or it's order out of chaos. Okay. So, yeah, man. I just wanted to bring that out. I know there's probably other scriptures regarding this, but those are the ones the Spirit came on to me to bring out. So I hope it was edifying. Till next time, I want to say shalom.